All right, now we got Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street.
Here we go.
His thoughts on CNBC.
It really bothers me, and I have this big thing about CNBC in there, and how they basically are like the worst thing that could ever happen to the average investor. Because if you watch the CNBC, you'll think you can trade in and out of stocks short term and make money. And the fact is that the scientific academic studies going back to 1900 that says it's virtually impossible to beat the S&P. But if you watch the show, you'll think that's the best way to trade. Go from oil into crypto, from crypto into tech stocks, from tech stock into commodity. And you're not going to make money that way, right? So that one investment is the S&P. And I wrote the book. I think when I wrote the book, the S&P was like 3,800. Now it's 5,000, right? I also said Bitcoin's a good investment, but small, like 5 to 10% of your portfolio, right? The largest should be, I think, the S&P. And at the time, it was 22,000. Now it's 73,000. But that doesn't, like, the fact that I was right is irrelevant because it just as easily could have been down in 1 year. In other words, you can't look at investing as a 1 year proposition. When I wrote that, I said, listen, Bitcoin right now is 20.
When we were going through the April crisis, the repeated message you kept saying was, hey, stick with your allocation. Hey, stick with your allocation. Long term, it's going to make sense. And I kept thinking, like, what is a way I can explain stick with your allocation? And I think I got it. And this is what he's saying here. You're driving from Petaluma, California to Disneyland. What a great trip. You're going to take I-5. You're going to take I-5.
Right.
Many, many people watching have done that drive. And we've all seen that car that's darting in and out of traffic, cutting people off.
Yeah.
Fast, slow, slam, tailgate. For that car who's doing that, there's a chance that they're going to get to wherever they're to Disneyland, if they're going there, faster. But every time they make that move, they're taking a risk. And the risk that they're taking is not just that they're going to be slower than they were, it's that they're going to crash and completely blow up. Versus Darren and his family
in my minivan,
in your used SUV, and you stick in the right lane and you cruise and you make a couple moves and you see the moves coming.
Yep.
Right? And it's slower, but you're going to get there. You're ensuring you're going to get there.
From a probability standpoint.
Correct.
Right?
You very well still could get hit, right?
That's right. From one of those idiots.
That to me is what he's saying.